Hi there guys, welcome back to another video. If you're a regular watcher, well, this will be a unfamiliar site for you. If you're a new watcher, you can probably help me, I don't know. This is my 2001 Subaru Forester Turbo S. It's a pretty decent car until that shelf there with tires on it fell and broke the glass, but that's not a biggie. That's actually the only damage the car took, was the glass, so that's and also some scuffs on the hood scoop there. But other than that, it actually survived pretty good. So the window in that door was thankfully down when that happened, so it wasn't harmed. Anyways, the issue I'm having with this car is I've tried so many things now. This car, when I got it actually for free, so I haven't lost too much money on it yet. The car runs, like you can see. I can turn it off, start back up, runs just fine. Has a slight noise from the alternator, but that's no biggie. That doesn't affect what the issue I'm having. So the issue I'm having is that now it's running fine, and if I give it slight throttle, it will rev up just fine. I can give it quite a lot of gas as well, but the problem I'm having is that it is really sluggish on performance. I have now topped off with fresh fuel. Well, topped off, it is not topped off, but I replaced the fuel with fresh 98 octane zero ethanol fuel, and it's still doing the exact same thing. So obviously the fuel in the tank was no problem. So the problem is I can give it full throttle and it's bogging down, like, and it also pops from the exhaust. I don't know if that's normal. I haven't never had a Subaru before, so this is new for me. But it has the and it shouldn't do that because this is a mechanical throttle car with a MAF and a map sensor, and I've cleaned the map sensor. It does not throw a code on anything yet, but it will throw a code for a catalyst efficiency below threshold because of a poorly installed exhaust system, where the secondary O2, which is supposed to be after the cat, is actually before the cat. So, but that should never also not affect this either, because that sensor is used for calculating fuel mixture. It's the primary sensor used for that, if it's a normal ECU, that if that makes sense. So it's bogging down quite bad. Like, you can drive it normally, like really lightly, and you can take it on the highway and will hold highway speeds, no problems at all, but you cannot accelerate too hard because it will bog down. Or it won't bog down, but you will feel that you're having your foot to the floor, and it feels like a 1.3 Corolla. So no power whatsoever. I've checked the turbo. I checked the turbo intake system, and there's no leaks between the MAF and the turbo. I tried disconnecting the MAF because that should make the car run a what you call it, a last case scenario mode, kind of. It will kind of run a fail-safe, so if the MAF fails, the car will still run and drive, but you probably won't get full boost, and it will probably run very rich. But this car does not run rich because there is no smoke out of the exhaust when you give it gas. There is only slight condensation from the car sitting, and you can also smell from the exhaust gases that it is not rich running. So I don't know. This is a VVT engine, from what I understand, because I've seen the solenoids in the engine. But it doesn't throw a code. It did throw one code on its way home here from when I picked it up, and there was two codes. Well, it was two codes. It was the catalyst efficiency below threshold, and it was fuel mixture bank 1 too lean. And then I started thinking. I heard that code and I started thinking, it could be a bad patch of gas. It could do that. So I filled it now with 98 octane zero ethanol. Still the same thing. So I have no idea. It was no difference whatsoever. And it will run idle like this with any issues, without any issues. It will run perfectly fine, and if you give it slightly some throttle, you can hold RPM. No problems at all. Note that this car has a I didn't do this. This was like this when I got the car, but this has a 3-inch catback exhaust system with a Sport Cat 200 cell, I believe that is. So I don't know if this car is very picky on what kind of exhaust system it should have, but from what I understand from the previous owner, this car ran fine when he parked it, and when it stood for a year maybe. Also note that the gasoline sold in Norway is just recently got 10% ethanol in it. Earlier it was sub 5%. So this, if it was filled with the old 95 octane, it should have less than 5% ethanol, which means that the fuel shouldn't have degraded in that period of time. And I can prove that. I can actually prove that now, because the car runs exactly like it did with the new fuel. So yeah, too bad. I don't know. I mean, the AC on this thing blows ice cold and stuff like that. Turn on. You can hear the AC turn on. If you set it to, there you go, blows ice cold. Our radiator fan turns off when the compressor turns off, and I mean, runs just fine. So replacing that window here also has the big sunroof thingy. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what it can be. Because you can hear the engine, like, apart from the alternator noise, no knocks, nothing like that. Sounds completely normal. No issues whatsoever. And I went over all the vacuum lines here, and it doesn't seem like any of them are broken. I do know I have a slight coolant leak right there. Oh, it's not a leak yet, but if I push the hose, it's a leak, you know. Also tried disconnecting the what is that? TPS? Throttle position sensor? Yes, there we go. I tried disconnecting that. I tried disconnecting the map sensor. Disconnecting map or that, either of them doesn't do any difference. I mean, if you disconnect this one, it's slightly worse than it was, if it might make sense. It's slightly worse, same issue, but slightly worse. And that could be simply because that the car doesn't know where the throttle is. And I believe this to be the idle air control valve. That looked like a map sensor, if I'm not mistaken. Has all the ground leads, because the car starts up just fine. These lines all connected. These T lines down here all connected. This has a T on it, but it's blocked off. I believe this to be the boost solenoid. Sure, it looks like it. Yeah, it is, because it runs to these millions of vacuum lines. One intercepting the wastegate actuator line, and the other one going through the intake as a recirculation. There's also a one here, runs from this one, which runs to this thing, which runs to, I don't know. This is a nightmare of vacuum lines. I don't know why they need so many, but there you go. I've seen worse than this, that's for sure. I had to replace this vacuum line because that was too brittle, and I replaced with a silicone one. Didn't do anything. Same issue. Dual fans, look at that. Oh wow, I can feel the air moving. So, yeah, I don't know. It does not seem like this car has a intake air temperature sensor. which is interesting. I would have thought it had that. There's a sensor down there going somewhere. I don't know. If you can pinpoint me in the right-ish direction here, that's much appreciated. I feel that this car should deserve a couple more years on the road. It looks reasonably good. I mean, it has some rust spots, but overall it's pretty straight. Slight rust here. This is a Nordic car, so of course it will have rust, but trust me, that I've seen way worse than that. This side, way better. Missing door handles because those are apparently fragile, so I have to fix some rust here. I can see it looks like this car has had a repaint before. That's actually pretty that's pretty obvious. It looks like somebody has tried picking this car. Look at the paint job. But I mean, overall, it's pretty straight. Has some dings here. Has this dent. Okay, because it got this dent also when the shell fell. But it's not really that noticeable. You can probably put that out, or push that out from the inside, and I don't know, rub this down. I don't know. It's not a perfect car, but I kind of feel like it should deserve a couple more years. So if you want me help me doing that, preserving this car for a couple more years, that will be much appreciated. So yeah, runs really good. Yeah, runs really good. Fuel pump primes like it should and stuff like that. Yeah. If you have any ideas what it could be and where to start, throw it in the comments, and I will appreciate that. And see you guys in another video. Take care.